Factor the polynomial p of x equal to x cubed plus 3x squared plus 5x. We should begin by factoring out the x. We see that we have an x in each term. So we'll factor that out and we'll be left with x times x squared plus 3x plus 5. Now the remaining quadratic factor, x squared plus 3x plus 5, cannot be factored using rational roots. So what we'll have to do is complete the square for finding the remaining roots. So what we do is we write that quadratic expression, x squared plus 3x plus 5, equal to 0. We move the 5 over, so we have equals minus 5 on the right. Then we take half of the coefficient on x, so in other words 3 over 2, and then square that, and that'll be 9/4. And that's what we will add to both sides. So we'll add 9/4 to both sides of the equation. And what that does for us is complete a square so that this will factor into x plus 3/2 squared on the left-hand side. And then we will find ourselves a common denominator here, which will make minus 5, negative 20 over 4. And then when we add that to 9/4, we get minus 11/4. So now once we have this equation, we can use the square root property and remove the parentheses and the square on the left. And the thing that we have to remember is that we have to do this plus or minus on the right. So we'll have x plus 3/2 is equal to plus or minus the square root of minus 11/4. But we don't want to leave it like this. We don't want to leave it with this fraction under the radical, nor with this negative under the square root. So what we'll do then is subtract 3/2 from both sides and then write it as a plus bi form by simplifying this fraction and radical. So the I will come out, and then the square root of 4 in the bottom will become a 2. So here now we have then the roots. We have minus 3/2 plus or minus I root 11 over 2, which is two values, minus 3/2 plus I root 11 over 2, and minus 3/2 minus I root 11 over 2. So now if we want to express this in its factored form, what we'll need to do is take this expression, minus 3/2 plus or minus I root 11 over 2, and subtract it from x, and remember to put the parentheses in. So we'll subtract each of those from x in their own sets of parentheses.